Welcome to Video Screencast number 1, installing WordPress using Fantastico on the Music Biz Buzz. Okay, I'm going to be installing WordPress from scratch, so you can basically see how easy it is to get your WP band theme installed in no time at all. So right now I'm logged into my control panel, and I do most of my hosting with iHostIndy. Very quality service, and especially geared towards musicians' hosting needs and purposes. So most of my sites are hosted on here, and I do recommend them highly. But of course, if you're hosted somewhere else, you can go about using their control panel. Hopefully you've got CPanel installed there as well, so you can go about using that. So right now we're logged into our control panel, and as you can see, we're using the wpbandthemes.com main site here, and I've set up a subdomain themes.wpbandthemes, which I'm going to be using for today's purposes. So you can see once you get in your control panel, you've got all your stats along the left hand side, and of course you've got some preferences, your mail and files and whatnot. And once you do get a hosting account, you'll be able to go through all that and see all that stuff. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. Today we're just going to be going through the process of actually installing your WordPress. So we're going to scroll further down and pass all of these other options, and we're going to be looking for software and services. And as you can see, there's a number of options in there, but of course we're looking for Fantastico Deluxe, which is the icon with the little happy smiley face, guys. So we're going to click on Fantastico Deluxe, and that's going to take us to another page. And of course you've got a whole set of options here as well. The one we're looking for, though, of course, is WordPress. So we're going to be clicking on WordPress. And then once we've done that, it'll give you a little short description on exactly what WordPress is. And then, of course, there's the link to wordpress.org, where you can find out more about WordPress and what goes on with their software updates and installations and things like that. Today, we're going to be doing the new installation. So we're going to click on New Installation, which is the option right here. That'll take us to the first page in the process of installing WordPress. And as you can see, it gives you the option of which domain you want to install it on here. And as I mentioned earlier, I've got themes.wpbandthemes.com set up for the tutorial purposes. So I'm going to be selecting themes.wpbandthemes.com. Of course, in your particular situation, you'll probably be selecting your band. .com, whatever it is you've got set up with your domain name. And the next option here would be to install in a directory. And what that's for is if you have your band website already set up on a main root directory of your hosting account, you can opt to install WordPress on a subdirectory, so perhaps /blog, and have the WordPress software installed on a subdirectory. For today's purposes, we're going to be installing it on the root. I hope you're doing the same. So we'll carry forward, and the next thing it's asking us for is an administrator username. For today, I'm going to be using WP Band Themes. And as a password, I'm going to do something really simple, which I don't recommend for most of you out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Real dirt easy, so I don't forget it. And then it asks me for an admin nickname in the next option here. So I'm going to be putting in Dus. And then for the email, I'll just put in info@wpbandthemes.com. And then the site name, of course, WP Band Themes Demo. So it also asks us for a description here, and that's not necessary to put in at this point in time. We can get to that a little later once we get inside the installation of WordPress in the back end. So we're going to click on Install WordPress, and it's going to go through the process of installing your MySQL database. And as you can see here, it lets us know that the MySQL database and the MySQL user is wpbandth_wordp1, and yours will obviously be a little different than that, but do take note of that, because in the future, if once you become an expert at using your WordPress and whatnot, you may want to go on the back end and maybe play around in your database or whatnot. For most of you might not get to that point, but it's a good idea to make sure you take note of that database and username, so that in the future you'll have access to it if you need to. So once we've got to this point and everything seems to be okay and hunky-dory, we're going to click on Finish Installation, and that'll take us to the third and final page. And on this screen, you're going to see your username that we entered earlier, of course, WP Band Themes, as well as your password, 123456. Again, I don't recommend using something that simple. You also get the URL to where your actual login screen for the administrator will be on the installation that you've just finished going through. So take note of that, or open it and bookmark it, whichever you prefer, but make sure that you know how to get to the back end so that we can log in. And what I'm going to do at this point in time is just to verify that everything's gone properly in the way we expect it to. I'm going to right click and open this in a new tab. And what we see here, of course, is the WordPress login screen. So I'm going to try logging in just to make sure everything's okay. WP Band Themes, and the password 123456. And we log in. And of course, as you can see, we're in the dashboard area now, and it seems to be that everything went okay with the installation. I'm just going to move over here and just make sure you can see everything there. Okay, we've got it all. So everything's hunky-dory with that, and we're off to the races. It was a successful install, and we're going to carry on and go about installing our WP Band Themes theme and set up the customization for that as well.